Matching hundreds. I'm Jonathan Coachman. This is Matt.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, Week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They'll be led out by their quarterback from Central Florida. It's Blake Bortles.
And they are in rhythm on offense because of him. I mean, right now he's got everything going the way he wants to, finding the receivers the way he wants to.
And the Jaguars send out their punter. Jakeem Grant back deep for Miami. Fielded just inside the 20. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. Ryan Tannehill will be orchestrating the offense, the top 10 pick back in 2012.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdowns.
Throwing on third down, Tannehill. And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Jaguars will take over at their 20-yard line. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to a self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
In the buffet. Jason Sanders now for the extra point. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive.
And now he lost the football. Tannehill loses it. But I think a Dolphin was able to fall on it. Yes, they'll keep possession here.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
A free 5 yards. Now on second down, this is Gore. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long.
30.
From the gun on 3rd down, Tannehill looks for Parker, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Telvin Smith. And he's able to bring it out 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I...
And the Jaguars send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. And out come the Dolphins now. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Play action. It's Tannehill. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Dewan Smith in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
And now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Taking it about the 36. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. The Jaguars offense now heads back onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense.
Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Throwing left side, it's complete. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a 1st down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Sanders on for the extra point. extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead is now 14-10. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Here comes Nelson. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
So the face mask puts them in even better shape than they were in, as they'll have a short field here on 1st and 10. And Stills over the middle. A Miami first down on the 14-yard pickup.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver, and almost on a direct shot, able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
On 1st and 10, Tannehill. They go with the screen to Gore. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Out of the gun, Tannehill. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play. Now a first down throw, Tannehill. And he'll lay out and pull it in. What a diving catch there. The Dolphin passing game rolling here. They've got another first down.
I know retirement ceremonies, a rocking chair is often one of the major gifts, but don't give this guy one just yet. He may be plus 30, but my goodness, how about that effort?
Yeah, he's not that old. Hey, I'm on the wrong side of 32.
You okay? You feeling all right?
I'll be all right.
Okay, good.
I just need some chocolate and a box of tissues. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To the air again, Tannehill. And now he lost the football. Tannehill loses it. And did the Jaguars come up with it? They did. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Here comes Blake Bortles now to lead him. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? you adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show him one thing, hit him with something else.
And he'll get about 4. Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 20. On second down, it's Drake. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Jalen Ramsey, the all-pro corner there defensively for Jacksonville.
You know, when you talk about Jalen Ramsey, if he were a basketball player, you'd be wondering about the matchups for him, right? Where would he play? What would he cover? In this case, he can cover just about anything. I think his man coverage skills are excellent. Even a guy of his size, nearly 210 pounds, look at the footwork, look at the agility there. As he drove on the dig route and made a play.
Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins' offense now heads back on the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Back to the ground, this time with Gore. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Miles Jack there to make the tackle.
Well, it's tough time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Back to throw, Tannehill. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this third quarter of play. 1 quarter remains here in Week 16. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Miami. It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the 4th. And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's caught by Parker. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Tannehill. Oh, nearly a disaster there on the check down. But they'll get it back.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
From the 50, it's Tannehill. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Throwing again is Tannehill. Going deep here for Parker. That's caught inside the 20. A very nice pickup of 33. Sanders now to add the extra point. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this across the 25. A couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane. Doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Tannehill and the Dolphins break the huddle. Come up 1st and 10 at the 40. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. Over the middle, it's Amendola. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now Tannehill drops it underneath to Gore. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down. And right now, defensively, you love that, don't you? I mean, you'll give them that play.
And they'll take it every single time. This is almost like nickeling and diming it downfield, and too much time's going to run off the clock.
Going deep here for Stills. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Desperation time for Tannehill on 4th down. And no, it's incomplete. Adam Gase rolls the dice. Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. Good starting field position for the Dolphins as they have it 1st and 10. Off play action, Tannehill. On the left side, this is Stills. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 23 yards on the play. On 1st down, it's Tannehill. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Devontae Parker was the intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
A really good pickup of 28 yards. And they get up on it quickly and spike it with just a little over 50 seconds to go. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Again, Tannehill. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. The linebacker, Miles Jack, able to knock that one away.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you've kind of run out of your running plays. Fire another one into the end zone.
2 incompletions haven't moved them any closer. And likely throwing again, you'd have to think on 3rd and goal here. They'll fake the handoff. Now Tannehill. And now another one thrown incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give him some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And this is caught down for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though, now. This one's as good. Well, I know at points in this one you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for the Jags, it's an important win for their playoff hopes as they hit the 10-win mark now at 10-5. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, it's another loss as they now fall to 4-11. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head up to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charlie.
year was on my garage. Now I'm in a good position for this life, can't sabotage. I ain't folding under pressure, I ain't switching for no